Chinese mother-in-law, Chinese mother-in-law. How to start this video? Well, I guess with the obvious. I have a mother-in-law and she's from China, Shanghai. Not only she is my mother-in-law, but the cultural gap between us is so huge we may never be able to bridge it. My wife is from Shanghai. Shanghai may not be the capital of China. However, it's the biggest city of China. It's the richest city of China. It's, according to Shanghainese people, the most beautiful city in China. Shanghai truly is an amazing city, and its residents are proud to be Shanghainese. Sometimes, perhaps too proud. For some, being born in Shanghai is the best thing that can happen to anyone, especially for the older Shanghainese ladies. While not all of them may feel this way, many do. One common thread among all Shanghainese ladies is their high expectations for the future son-in-law. In Shanghai, there are specific requirements to be deemed worthy of marrying a Shanghainese lady. For instance, prospective husband should be able to buy a flat in Shanghai. There are salary requirements, education requirements, work security requirements. He should provide a car and a dowry for his future wife's family. But that's still not all. Those requirements have even more details. Has he purchased the flat outright, or is it financed through a loan? What is the location of the future husband flat in Shanghai? Is it an expensive area or a cheap one? Actually, there are no cheap ones, just less expensive ones. The starting price of a flat in the wider city center, not the main city center of Shanghai, is around $10,000 per square meter. So these are just some of the many questions a future son-in-law must answer before marrying Shanghainese lady. Shanghainese people have their favorite place to find and matchmake their sons and daughters. Marriage markets or blind date markets in the city parks, which occur weekly in various parks around Shanghai. The most famous one is in People's Park, right here. Every single weekend, people bring advertisements for their children, listing their requirements and seek the perfect partner for them.
What does this one say?
Born in 1996.
Yeah.
Female, 1.58 m is her height, 92
Alright,
kilograms.
I'm already attracted.
92 kilograms from...
92 kilo. She's 92
kilograms.
92 kilograms.
Sorry, no. Chin. It's 92 chin. Chin is like the measurement in China, so it's like half of kilogram. So it's half of that. So 41.
Oh, 46.
46.
46.
Yes,
okay,
46,
I was already a bit scared. Yes. Okay, I'm still attracted. Okay,
46. And she's from city of Jiashan, which is
Jiashan.
close to
always
Shanghai.
been my favorite. Always been my favorite.
Yeah, and she studied medicine.
Okay.
And lives in Shanghai.
Lives in Shanghai.
Yes.
And
she's looking.
For
somebody who is at least 1.70 m.
Okay, so, I qualify for that.
Okay. No other requirements.
No other requirements.
As far as the paper says, there are no other there.
Are there actually success stories, like people finding their wives here and husbands?
And you
a lot.
Local people.
Local people.
And
okay. And it seems that a lot of people care about money, the financial aspect. But it should be about love. How do you say "I believe in true love" in Chinese?
True love is 真爱, and I believe in true love is 我相信真爱.
我相信真爱.
Yes.
我相信真爱.
Almost there.
All right, all right.
80%, let's say.
Okay.
The main criteria on these advertisements include salary, flat in Shanghai, car, dowry, and other financial requirements. These Shanghainese ladies enjoy discussing how much their son-in-law has provided for the newly wedded wife's family. However, one of these Shanghainese ladies married her daughter to a boy from a village in Eastern Europe.
To me, not only I don't have an apartment in Shanghai, it would be also very difficult for me to buy one. And also, I didn't give any dowry. So this Shanghainese aunt was hearing from her peers all day, every day, that she has been cheated. This is not how you marry your daughter. You should earn some money from that. And she didn't. She was told that her daughter is definitely ruining her life. And that was what she was hearing every day. Foreigners are poor and unworthy of marrying a Shanghainese girl in the eyes of Shanghainese. maybe rich Englishman, German, French, okay. Spanish or Italian, if he is from a big city, okay, he can pass. But a guy from Eastern Europe, from a small village, that's hard to swallow. I was lucky though. My wife and my mother-in-law, they both wanted something else. They wanted a chance for my wife to marry from love, which is considered only as a bonus in China and not the most important thing. Also, we married very young, which gave us a chance that maybe with a little bit of luck and a lot of hard work, we could catch up with our Shanghainese peers. Our wedding was the first trip of my mother-in-law to Europe. Actually, it was her first trip outside of China and also one of her first few trips out of Shanghai. And it was to Slovakia. And it was a shock. Let's face it, Slovakia compared to Shanghai, it's very, very, how to say it properly? Of course, we cannot compare Slovakia to Shanghai. Slovakia is a country, Shanghai is a city, is the biggest and the richest city in China, so there is no comparison. However, there are a few things in Slovakia which just don't make any sense. For example, no subway in the capital of the country, hotel rooms which are stuck in the 90s with the TVs. Shanghainese people don't even remember how old they look like. And the services in Slovakia, they are just non-existent. Our house is a very old house. It's actually a cultural heritage. It's more than 200 years old. And also there are chicken running around and there are dogs and cats and a lot of animals. Everything is, you know, it looks like a village. Not everything is as clean as in Shanghai. So for her, it was like jumping back in time for at least 20 years. We made her a bed in our house and we put all the blankets and pillows into a feather hat. However, it didn't occur to us that they don't have feather hats in China. So she was shocked that we don't even have blankets and pillows in Slovakia. And so she slept on a naked bed. And of course, she caught a cold the first day she was there. And also the food in Slovakia. Even my wife, she's a young, well-traveled Chinese lady. And sometimes she needs a rest from European and Slovakian food, which is quite heavy and hard to digest. And for older lady from Shanghai, well, that was really difficult. There is a reason why Chinese tourists travel with 2 suitcases to Europe. One suitcase with clothes and the other with rice, so they can make rice porridge. A Slovakian wedding and Chinese wedding are very different. During the Chinese wedding, usually the bride is taken out of the car directly to the wedding hall where the wedding happens. Everything is very organized, very clean, and the dress of the bride after the wedding looks like it has never been used. In Slovakia it was a little bit different because first we went through a castle garden and it was a little bit rainy, and so the dress was not clean at all. And before that my brother took us to a haystack to take some wedding pictures. So the wedding hasn't even started and her dress didn't look new at all. And also, there wasn't enough food on our wedding, at least based on the Chinese standards. And the worst thing happened. All the food was eaten. And that's unacceptable for Chinese people during weddings. It seemed like we were cheap, like we were trying to save money on them. During any Chinese wedding, there must be so much food that it's actually impossible to finish it all.
Food definitely posed a significant challenge. Beyond this, the stark contrast in customs between China and Slovakia emerged as the primary issue. In China, weddings focus on showcasing parents, fostering connections, and strengthening relationships with immense social expectations. Conversely, Slovakian weddings prioritize dancing, drinking, and enjoyment over food and parental celebrations. Despite our enjoyable wedding with dancing and music, since me and my friends are all dancers, it also completely failed to meet any Chinese traditions expectations.
In short, the Slovak wedding was the last nail in the coffin of the European trip for my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law really needed to get this cultural shock out of her system, and now I really do understand her frustration. Actually, I still regret not preparing her for the things that were supposed to happen in Slovakia, because it was really a huge cultural shock which ended in some few very ugly arguments. However, it could have been avoided if only I prepared her more. After that argument, things started to improve. My mother-in-law moved to her own smaller place in a flat where everything was clean and organized as for her wish. Also, we brought her a rice cooker, so she was able to make a Chinese porridge from rice, and we also gave her a few drunken crabs, which is a Shanghainese specialty she brought for my parents. However, those drunken crabs, which they do look like they were alive, were the exactly same cultural shock for my parents as Slovakia was for my mother-in-law. And my mother is a vegetarian, and when she opened the fridge and there were few crabs alive looking, she immediately closed the fridge to never look again inside. And that's why we gave it as a small present back to my mother-in-law, so she can get back her energy. And it actually really did help. After a few days of this kind of therapy, things started to improve. And after that, we took her for a trip in Europe. And in the end, she actually really did enjoy her stay in Europe, even though the start was really rocky. However, she never got used to our food. She missed fish and white meat, seafood, because in Shanghai they eat it almost daily, but in Slovakia not so much. And she asked why. I told her, well, we don't have a sea. So she asked, why doesn't the government dig it for you? So let's face it, the relationship with mother-in-law, any mother-in-law, can be complicated. And when the mother-in-law is from different culture, it's even more complicated. However, I think we actually did solve our issues, and our relationship now is great. But that doesn't mean that my life in China doesn't have its own challenges. And if you are interested in those, well, subscribe and we will see each other in the next video. Bye!